Unfortunately, I'm here to report that we had a very tragic shooting incident this morning that affected an entire family in the Northeast Heights. As you may know, the fire department responded to reports of a fire at a home in the 2800 block of Georgia Street Northeast. As they were working on the fire, they did identify 3 individuals ultimately who were deceased at the scene. And it appeared initially, and it turned out to be true, that they all 3 individuals died as a result of gunshot wounds. At that point, the homicide unit was called out to start an investigation. The detectives got there. They were able to preliminarily identify all the occupants of the home who were deceased. There were 2 elderly people, a man and a woman in their 70s, and an adult son. I'm not sure what his age was. As detectives were investigating that scene, officers in the Valley Area Command got a call of a report of a possible suicide. And this was in the area of Jefferson and Masthead, and kind of near the Journal Center. As officers started looking into that scene, they determined that the individual who shot himself, and there was a gun next to him inside of a vehicle, appeared to be related or have the same surname as the individuals who died in the house fire, or at the house before the fire. As they started looking further into the situation, they did find a note at the time. I can't disclose the contents of the note, and there wasn't really anything linking to the incidents. But detectives started to gather that these 2 scenes may have been related. Eventually, as detectives were able to look at the casings and the gun, compare the gun that was found at the suicide, it does appear to be a match between that gun was used at the first scene to kill the 2 parents and the son. And then the individual who died of suicide was the son of those parents, and that was his brother who was killed in the house. So at this point, it appears this individual shot and killed his parents and his brother. The decedent who committed suicide, I'll have to double check his age, but he was born in the 1980s. I want to say he's in his 30s or so. There is one more family member that we're trying to locate out of state. So we'd appreciate it if you just not identify an exact address of that home, but it is a 2800 block of Georgia Street Northeast. Hopefully we could reach them at some point today, and we could release the names of all 4 individuals. So basically, the parents, male and female in their 70s, and then 2 sons, adult sons in their 30s, it appears. I think that's what we have right now at this point. Any questions?
Gilbert, is there anything that, without revealing the details of the letter, is there anything that might reveal what prompted this?
We don't know. It appears there might be some kind of mental illness issues at first glance, but that's what detectives are still working to determine. They're looking into a lot of different issues related to the family. It's just really unfortunate that there's a lot to look into, and they're trying to determine at this point. They're talking to neighbors who knew the family pretty well, and the other neighbors who heard the gunshots, and I think another neighbor reported smoke coming from the air conditioner. So they've been talking to many people in the neighborhood, as well as those who know the family.
What was the age of the man who killed himself?
I have to double check. I want to say maybe 30s or 40s, but...
And his brother?
Same, I think, similar. But let me find out for sure.
What time did the initial call, or what time did they hear the gunshots? Neighbors heard the gunshots before the fire?
You know, I want to say it was a little after 6 a.m. is when we heard from the fire department. I'm not sure when the fire department got the call. I know they sent an alert out a little while ago. I don't remember if it said on there.
Any ideas or has AFR determined whether that fire was set intentionally, or have they shared that?
You know, I don't know. I saw the alert that went out. I just tried calling the fire department to see, because I wasn't sure either of the extent of damage. It doesn't sound like the victims were burned, but that's something the fire department would be able to tell. But it was enough. I know they got one individual out into the front, and we're trying to perform life-saving measures, but he died as a result of a gunshot wound.
So it sounds like a domestic incident where 2 brothers and their parents possibly all live at the same house?
They might live at the same house. I'm not sure where they exactly live.
One of the brothers turned on everybody. And
that's what it appears.
Killed himself at another.
That's what it appears so at this point.
Has there been other incidents at this house that he has been called out to?
I'm not aware of any. I'd have to double check on that, but I haven't been told of anything like that. And I would say there, unfortunately, this brings back memories of there was 2 incidents like this last year where I think family members, there were multiple deceased individuals, and either I think a brother in one case and maybe a father in another case killed members of their own family and then took their own lives. So it's troubling. It was troubling last year. I think that totaled about 10 deaths last year just from those couple of incidents, and to see this happen today too, it's just another reminder that some families are going through different things that we don't know about, but regardless, it's very tragic, and the whole family's gone.
Gilbert, is this something that you see too much of during holiday occasions and weekends, stuff like this?
I don't know that we could pin it on holiday weekends or anything like that. I think, like I said, there's other variables that appear to have affected this family or this individual at least, and who knows why it happened now or why he chose to do it this way, but it's just sad all the way around however it happened. Anything else? Okay. Thanks, guys.